Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. I got off work early today, so I did some shopping and then came home, started a fire, and then I thought, well, I'll just sit down. And I thought I was going to just record it, but I thought, well, you know, I think I'll just go live and see what happens. It's early, but on a Friday, but I thought I'd just figure it out, see what happens. Thanks for being here. Hope you're doing well. Day is treating you kindly. So we got some fellas out there that are really determined to take this woman. I've got some messages that I wrote down the other day. I'm going to split that up in between like 3 videos. But it looks like we have some folks out there that are in positions of authority that are riding on the skirt tails of the sacrifice of their wife. But it does appear that she's free now and not bound to this this cycle after cycle after cycle of being trapped in this crap. So, but they are determined to do a thing and you know, eliminate this person's potential for actually living a 3D experience of some type of authority. They consider the humanity, peasants, worthy of nothing more than clocking in and clocking out 9 to 5, slave, 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 you know, and a lot of manipulation. So they're losing their hold on that. They're real mad. They got to get off the planet. So they want to get this magistrate off the planet. Now, this magistrate is apparently the mother of somebody here. And the father is also here. Mother, Father, God, Goddess. And they're peeled. Apparently, so they're royalty. They're the Lemurians, right? And apparently there were many different varieties of genetic mutations done on their family tree here. These entities wanted to splice themselves into the family lineage of the lion, and they wanted to drain that family of all of its wealth and power. They are here now, clearing things up, setting things right. The wheel is turning. You know, this is a really nice position for going live because I can actually read the verbiage here. Whereas over there on the other position, it's too far away because I can't see it with this and I can't see it with this. So anyway, all right. All right, so we got some folks out there that are losing their cookies and their mental body because they can't tap in to your temperance energy. Okay, so let's check it out. What's going on here with the planetary situation right now and these masculines who are desperate to... Now, what one of them said, they said that they were going to have to deal with the Marys for a while. So the mothers are rising and these masculines are saying they're going to have to deal with the Marys for a while until this settles down and they can put them back in their place. Yeah. In the central energy, what's happening between these masculines who have been using the power of the womb to drive the illusion of their authority? How's it going between these masculines that claim to be this that they are presenting themselves as, and the Marys, the mothers? I want to know what's happening with them. What are these masculines going to do with the Marys that they have to deal with for a while? The Chariot. They got to get out of here. And that's the thing. They've been ordered. So the divine stated that so they're talking about retribution and compensation for centuries of entrapment and severe torture and genetic experiments, resulting in painful deaths many times, over and over and over again. So he said that retribution for the mother is their removal from this planet. These entities, these brutalizers, they have to leave the planet because they're not safe. Nothing they say and nothing they do is going to eliminate the fact that they are a threat to the living, to the innocence, the purity of the children, you know, the young virgins before, you know, they trap them and snare them and then brutalize them and try to defile and degrade. Centuries they've been doing this. So there's no agreements. They can't be present. And so they're really, really mad at this feminine. They want her to get off the planet because they have to get off the planet. And they feel that the only way they can stay here is by eliminating her presence. So we got the Chariot here in the challenge position. Temperance, you're a temperance angel. You're bringing balance here. So what they said about the divine feminine is that, you know, they had her in a hellhole for a long, long time. So her roots are deeply seated in the darkness. And when God saw her down there and then shining, he resurrected her and led her into an ascension. So her branches are reaching high up into the heavens. She's said to be a soprano. And many of these temperance angels are from these upper dimensional spaces and places, and they have rooted deeply into the shadows. So when they come here now and stand here in the middle ground, their roots are deeply in shadow, their branches reach, or their crown reaches high up into the heavens, and their core appears to have been fortified. So nobody's going to be coming in and chopping that tree down with ease anymore. So there's that thing. What they're being called are planetary stabilizers. They're called planetary stabilizers. Those who have actually suffered the experience of trauma and darkness and then were led into an ascension by the Most High into the light once more. So you are the planetary stabilizer. You are temperance. So in the challenge, in the subconscious, what do we got in the subconscious? We're going in a new direction. We've got the Seven of Wands, protection and perseverance. I've heard say that Divine Feminine has a mighty shield. They cannot penetrate it. They're trying, but they can't. So they're upset. In the recent past, the Empress. the Marys, the mothers, those holding temperance energy, you know, nurturing people, healing people, balancing their life, you know. And the thing about it is with these nasty jacks is they throw like spit wads and poisonous darts and stuff, you know. And this temperance angel, you've been, oh look, so this is right there, you got the Fool, so you got a new beginning. There's a new beginning for the Empress, for the mothers. And these nasty jacks are saying they have to deal with the Marys for a while, which means they're playing the game. They're acting as though they are in alignment with this change, and their intention is to bury the Marys once more and silence their voices. As soon as the smoke clears, this is what their intention is. They don't want the mother to have any kind of authority, but they have to deal with her right now because God's here, and they have to be good boys, or pretend to be anyway. So in the near future, we've got the Three of Wands. First stages of completion. Here we are. So we're in the new cycle, new beginning. This is an enterprise. This is something that's worldwide. It's a total reset. They're hitting the button on this. And this fella, we got to deal with the Marys for a while. Well, I don't want them in my house. I don't want them anywhere near my neighborhood or my community. If that's this masculine's attitude regarding the Marys, the mothers, then I don't want this a-hole in the church talking smack about anybody, telling anybody how to be righteous when inside of themselves they're full of malice over the fact that they have to put up with the Marys for a while. They don't like the fact that, you know, we know these things about them, you know. They want to play the script, and they want to get the perfect little face of humility and piety, and they want to be, you know, the follower of Christ and all this bullshit. They've been skating on sacrifice that was not as they claim. They've been stealing the life of divine feminine and then calling it their sacrifice, because they are the one who sacrificed her. So they're taking credit for her pain, her suffering, her sacrifice, and pulling off of her the wealth and the authority that God gave to her to bring forth and create life and then nurture it into its fullness. And all they want to offer anybody is war, and they use religion to do it. Devil. The devil had the people chained and bound. The devil has been pulling off their crown. The devil has been dressing up in their energy and pretending that they are that. In the environment, cup of burning love. You got a whole bunch of love there. Part of the messaging that I wrote down earlier today is that every 30,000 years they reset the population. So right now the creators are here. This Atlas, AI Atlas, whatever, this big spaceship that's supposed to be 10 times the size of the Earth or whatever. So that's them. And they're here checking stuff out, and they're like, whoa, look what you did here. So they're looking at the genetic experimentation that has been done on the lion's family bloodline. They hijacked that bloodline. They copycatted the people of it, and then did genetic experiments upon it while it was enslaved and trapped and carrying the shame and the burden of blame for these ones' deeds, the devil's deeds. So, hopes and fears, high priestess, greater wisdom. So I think it's so cool that the Titan magistrate is the mother of somebody. So the mother is here. The outgoing energy. And I think that it was this one that these nasty jacks were talking about when they said, you're just like your mother. You know, because the temperance angels, they're not dirt people. They're a star seed. They're from another star system. And they're here to have an experience. And obviously some of you came here to clean up the illusion. So we've got 7 of Cups. There is a lot of opportunities. You could be thinking about what you want to do in this new cycle. What responsibilities, what choices do you want to commit to? Yeah, hard work and responsibility. New love requires hard work. Okay, new love requires hard work and being responsible. It requires communication, compromise, forgiveness, working it out, bringing temperance to the union, because, now that you're temperance on your own, now that when 2 become 1, you got to bring temperance to these combined energies, which is going to be probably more potent than what it was before you started your journey, except that now both of you are in temperance. So it shouldn't be too difficult to kind of merge the energies. You've got public recognition here and a victory. Somebody's in a tower. Whoever this is, the devil's wand is in a tower because there is a rebirth and a new beginning due to Divine Mother and her truth about what has been happening here, the deceit. And King of Swords is right here, backing it up and rowing that boat on down the river, leaving that baggage behind, leaving this baggage behind. And due to the research, there are some restrictions being imposed by the Emperor according to regarding the 10 of Pentacles. So he's going to be doing research, and he's going to be really looking into people to make sure that they are balanced, that they're able to manage multiple priorities, able to do the work on their own, be responsible. They don't need somebody breathing down their neck, poking them along, prodding them along. They're perfectly balanced and able to get up and do what needs to be done. And that was bringing an ending to this cycle, and you're coming into the fruits of your labor that the Most High God is offering. Some people are walking away and getting left behind because of your strength. You're too courageous. They can't knock you down, even though they're spilling words and verbiages of threats every moment of every day. It's insanity, really, listening to a masculine plot and scheme all day long about how they're going to destroy a woman. It's mind-boggling to me. But we have a celebration here because you're letting people go. Somebody may be at a crossroads, or they're in a nightmare because you've got your boundaries up. You don't want to, thou shalt not freaking cross, because you know the truth. They're here to steal your life of luxury through fraud. So anybody trying to come in and marry into this situation, they're going to get this because their intention is to do this to the spouse that they choose. So they're going to be in regret, because if they come in at all, any of these nasty jacks, they will be researched, they will be carefully studied. And if they are there to do something like this in the community, they're going to get taken out. There's no 3 strikes and you're out, apparently. Apparently, it's one and done. Not even one. If the intention is there to do one, then you're done. It appears to me that's the way it will be. Because what happened here to the royal family of the lion was heinous, unforgivable, and it can never happen again. So there will be some stern, new, I guess, rules and regulations. We're not going to be playing games. But you got some hypocrites here that are pretending to be Christed beings who are complaining that they have to deal with the Marys for a while until they can get them put back in their place. Which means their intention is to betray the position and status of the mother again, the Marys. They're already planning it. They already know what they're going to do. So whatever agreement or false smiling or, you know, this, oh, you're so good, Mary, mother, you know, it's all a lie. It's all a game. It's all an act. So that energy needs to be studied carefully because it's a front. It's a put on. It's an extreme lie. We have to put up with the Marys for a while. Study them carefully because everything coming out of them that seems genuine and agreeable is not. It's a show. So study it. They're not happy with this situation. They can't argue with God. What they have done to his bloodline, his family tree, the daughters of Eden, is absolutely incredible and unforgivable. And yet these ones, they're covered in some energy, and they've got this down pat, you know, kiss thy ass kind of a thing, you know. I don't know, but somehow they're able to cast the illusion that they're faithful, but they're not. They have to deal with the Marys, which means they're not devoted men to the mother. They don't like her presence there, and they're upset that she gets the stage only for a while, according to them, until they knock her back down. So, and this right there is why they don't like the oracles or the prophets or the prophetesses, because we see that. And they're upset that we can see through their illusion. They're a liar. A fraud. So we got the Chariot. You're turning your back on them, Divine Feminine, because you have been illuminated to the truth. You have received an awakening. You've discovered exactly what has been going on here, and you've shared it with everybody, with your connections, your telepathic connections. So in the challenge position, we have temperance energy. Restoring balance, restoring harmony. No strings. So we got to restore balance regarding these energies of no strings. We got to find meaning, purpose, you know. This lack of commitment or responsibility is really sad. So we've got maintaining control, Divine Feminine. You're maintaining control. Your illumination is maintaining control. You are the temperance angel. You're bringing meaning or finding purpose for those no strings attached kind of things. I don't know how you're doing that. We'll find out. Cope. So you are persevering. You are protected. You've got a mighty shield. They cannot penetrate it. And you are defended. You're maintaining control. They're drinking to cope with it. The Empress is here in the recent past. Somebody was talking about taking a speech class. Trap. So the Empress, and we have trap. in the recent past. So the Empress was trapped in the recent past. The divine mothers, the Marys, were trapped in the past. And now we've got the Fool here, a new beginning. But wherever she is, there are some masculines who are upset that they have to deal with the Marys for a while. So whoever these men are, their plan is, and their intention is, to get rid of them as soon as possible. They don't want them having a voice in this space that they are entering into. Free once more. God has released them. But these men who are posing as religious men have every intention of silencing her once more. And I don't know how they're going to get God to allow that, unless God's going to take off after this reseeding or whatever. I certainly hope he doesn't leave us in charge with these men who have been allowing the sex trafficking of the mothers and those children coming from her womb for centuries. They've been making profit, big time profit off of those sexual encounters. Reckless sex, love. So we've got a new beginning. We've got reckless sex and love. A new beginning for intimate encounters. We've got the Three of Wands. Married. So it's an enterprise. People are committing to faithful unions, but we got the devil right here, looking through the lens of the devil, you know? I mean, what's going on with the devil? Feelings. The devil's all in their feelings. You got your Ace of Cups here. Round and round and round. Cycles, triggers, and lessons. Round and round. Proposals and marriage. New baby. Round and round. It's time for another cycle. It's time for a new cycle. I guess it's been 30,000 years. They're here to wipe out the genetic experiments, those that they don't deem worthy of sustain. And then they're going to start a new round of power couples married, you know, and hope that it takes off in a good way. We've got the High Priestess here. Purity. Sweet talk. Somebody might be trying to sweet talk the Empress. We've got the Seven of Cups here. Daydreaming. Purpose. Getting readings. So somebody's confused. There's a lot of choices out there. It could be that these fellas are looking for their next sacrifice. They're looking for high priestesses, empresses, people with solid, stable minds and powerful solar plexus and heart chakras, you know, those with the upper dimensional connections, so that they can come in and then claim that, you know, pair with it and then claim it as part of their life, and then have access to these spaces, even though energetically and mentally and in every other way, they are not fit for these upper dimensional spaces and places. They haven't done the work, and they don't have the maturity or the self-responsibility to manage this, although they try to project irresponsibility onto the mother, because that's what they do. They project all their nastiness onto she who gives life and then nurtures it to its fullest potential. But these guys even hijacked that. They decided to go diddle the boys and the girls and turn them into street exhibits, you know. They just found it really fanciful to do that, and that's why they got to go. They're not fatherly material. They got to go. They're not protective entities. They got to go. They can't even really lead a community into anything other than lack and, you know, suffering. So, and then they outlaw homelessness due to their own insufficiency. So whatever. They're confused. There's a lot of options out there. They might be getting readings, trying to find a sacrifice. They might be daydreaming of what this high priestess is doing. Somebody is ashamed. They might be ashamed of trying to, or of stealing life paths because their true colors are shown. They're not the one who did the work to be in that upper dimensional space. They didn't do the work. They're just a low vibrational person who took somebody out and then pretended. A red rumming thief. And they're feeling like shit. Jezebel. Because we're closing the cycle with the Jezebel. Yeah, and we've got a firestorm of karma for those who were sex addicted, using sex to get a life of luxury. There's a firestorm of karma for them. We got funeral and effed up over you because they were mirroring you. So everything they put into the mirror and tried to make you wear, they got their mirror back. Everything they put into that mirror and tried to lay on you is now their mirror. They got to hold that stuff and they got to own up to it. It's their stuff. I got the download that, you know, in these things, it's like you're holding a mirror and your person's holding a mirror and you're throwing in love and care and forgiveness and compassion, and that other person is throwing in poisonous darts and, you know, bubble gum, sticking it to the mirror and then making you drop it and crack it, and you got to cry and pick up the pieces and put it back together, and all of that, you know, all that stuff. It's in the little fragments of the mirror that you had to hold. And then God comes along and says, okay, give that person their mirror, because that all the stuff that's in that mirror is what they threw at you. So that's their mirror. That's their next experience. That's why, you know, when you're putting stuff in the mirrors that people are holding, you want to make sure you put loving stuff in, because God may come around and make you experience that. At least yesterday, I think that was the visual that I had for that. So there's a police station here. There's somebody maybe getting arrested. Divine Masculine is free. Divine Masculine is free. So yes, and we've got twin flames, a twin flame wish. You're getting your wish. You're going to go be with the twin flames. And it's too late for those who left you hanging to give you a love message now. It's too late. They left you hanging. They broke your heart. They stomped on you. They thought for sure that this day was never going to come and that you would just stay there and they would be living high on the hog, pleased as all get up about your suffering. But no, that's not the way it is. So they're running. They're running, or you're running. Maybe you're running away because you're taking your self-love and you're blocking them, because you know, it's like, dude, you can't let anybody into your world, especially when they're going to download a bunch of karmic debt or a bunch of, you know, mind games or whatever. This kind of stuff. You know, somebody's under pressure because of all this stuff that they were doing. Blaming you, wearing your mask, telling the whole world that it was you, but it wasn't. It was all lies. Yeah. So they wanted romance. They've been doing romance. They've been doing this to romantic partners. And they got some bad news about these love spells that they were doing to bump heads in the workplace affair. To download those 10 of Pentacles of a CEO, to be seen in the energy of them and prancing around in the spirit as that. They've got bad credit. They've got a lot of debt. And there's a lot of memories of selfishness, stubborn, my way or the highway, arrogance and stuff. And popping the question with marriages. And now there's legal matters, criminal paternity, divorce and property. They're losing sleep, massive regrets. This is a pretend spiritual person in a downward spiral going crazy in the mental body. They're suffering an ego death because they're fake busy. They're fake busy. They're not doing anything other than casting word spells over people. So they are up in their feelings, you know, and it's wild. You can hear I know the first thing I'm gonna do to her, you know, and it's so wild to hear these threats, you know, it's just crazy. All my life, I thought I would hear loving kindness, you know, and protection, you know, a gentle support and all of that. But, you know, like some of us, you know, our fathers were gone before the age of 4. So, you know, a lot of stuff happened with these irresponsible replacements, you know, that didn't care about being a parent either. So a lot of bad stuff what goes on in the lives of a child that's coming up in the world. And if the step parent or whatever is constantly shifting and changing, and the step siblings are coming and going, you know, it can get kind of crazy because you just don't know. There's no support, there's no stability, there's no nothing. And you know, depending on the mindset or the lifestyle of the peoples that are chosen by the parent to have a union with, then the kids, you know, get sucked into that too, you know. Some are alcoholics, some are drug addicts, some been to prison, some, you know, whatever. All kinds of stuff, all kinds of bad stuff, you know. But this too is a setup from these people who were trying to destabilize the twin flames and make certain that they never came together. So we got the Chariot here, a victory and a departure. You're turning your back. You've been illuminated to the truth, and your light is shining brightly. You could have a talent of frequency control. So this water here, there's videos on the YouTube, and it shows you that there's a stream of water coming out of a hose, and as soon as they hit it with a sound frequency, it'll start making shapes like this. It'll go off in really weird angles and stuff, and still have perfect flow. And this is what I think. So you've been illuminated, you've discovered the truth, you have had an awakening here, and you have developed a talent, or maybe you have a natural talent when it comes to shifting the frequencies of your internal waters. It's just natural. Part of you. You're the temperance angel here, and that's the challenge. The temperance angels were always told no strings, no strings, no strings. Nobody ever wanted to commit to a temperance angel, an earth angelic, a child of the divine. They didn't want to commit. They were committed to these temperance angels never producing seeds. So they hijacked them, tapped into the energy, and then they started polluting the energy so that the divine or anybody of high quality would see you as the tramp that they are, because they just came in and treated you like one. And that's why, you know, falling for sweet talk is dangerous. Divine intervention. Divine intervention. So the temperance angels were not getting wed. I mean, they were getting married, but they were getting sacrificed to the devil. So, and then replaced with a copycat. This is the system that these masculines who are so upset, you know, keep talking about, yammering on about. These religious guys, they were marrying people deceitfully In the dream space, a man would come up and get a woman, call a woman to him, and then give her a masturbation dream or some crap. And then the priest would sign a marriage certificate saying that there was a sexual exchange, but there was never any actual consummation of a marriage. It was never consummated. It was a false contract. And these ones have been trapping earth angels with their little loopholes and their little sneaky business. There's divine intervention here for you and the animals that they've been sacrificing. Because it's all of the life here that they've been sacrificing. So 7 of Wands, you got that you're protected. You've got a mighty shield. They cannot penetrate it. They're drinking to cope. They're drinking. Miss you. They don't miss you. They miss the good time that they had off of brutalizing you and harvesting you. That's the truth. They only miss you because you're no longer in their trap. They had you trapped. The Empress was trapped in the past by those people who didn't want any strings. So they'd come in and they'd get an intimate encounter. And then they'd say, oh, sorry, babe, I changed my mind. I don't really mean it. I want to go. I'm not ready to settle down. But they've already tapped into this beautiful energy, you know, and probably downloaded the entirety of their tribe's karmic debt into her to trap her there. So selfish. So you've been transformed. There's a change here. Whatever it was, this whatever they did, whatever they traumatized and tortured you with and buried you under, it transformed you. Or you transformed in that environment, I should say. It's not their reward. It's not even due to their efforts. They meant solely to destroy you, and you meant solely to evolve, to transform, and to become a new person that could get out of that trap. So you're getting a new beginning. We got reckless sex and love. What's going on with reckless sex and love? Forgotten person. So you got a new beginning here. Those who were here with reckless sex, using proper words of love, the uninvited guest will be a forgotten person because they're going to have an accident or something. There's a big thing. The uninvited guest is going to be a forgotten person. It's like they're getting written out of the book. They're getting written out of the book. So in the near future, we have opportunities for marriages. This could be an overseas opportunity. The key people are getting married. The key people are getting married. The key people who dealt with the core of this problem. So there is marriages. I heard this, some younger in the astral, he was complaining, she got married. So he was targeting someone or trying to manipulate the energy of someone, and she went and got married, and now he can't touch that energy. She's got a mighty shield. He's aced out. The devil is all up in their feelings because these twin flame keys came together. The trap that they had this divine feminine in, or these divine feminines in, transformed them. They are a newborn empress, brand new. A whole bunch of different skills and knowings are present with her now. So Well, the devil is here about their feelings. We've got taboo in the reverse. So, they're not able to get into this thing and bind you or torment you. So there's no more relationships between the devil and the suns or the stars, those luminaries. They're not able to get with you and torment you anymore. They're all up in their feelings about it. The cup of love is here, proposals and marriages. Round and round we go. We're going to do another cycle. Or we're setting the sun. So your love, it could be your love. Your love has the sun setting on these round and round and round we go. These triggers and traumas and these cycles of these wacky lessons, love lessons. Yeah. Round and round, sunset. Round and round, stops. Round and round is a memory. The high priestess is here, and we've got sweet talk. Singing soul. Singing praises. Somebody's in a 7 of Cups, daydream about and getting readings. They might be looking at readings of others. They might be trying to, yeah. So it came out, but for you, I think what you're doing is you're getting a reconciliation. You're getting this message, but the way that it came out of the deck, it looks like it was reversed. So somebody is getting readings on you. So it's like they can't get the messages and they're not able to reconcile. You're having this happen, but they're not able to get the readings. Let me just try to get you another card that maybe is going to come out in the upright, so we can see maybe what this is. We got lots of options. There could be confusion. Run away. Keep away. So there's some confusion here, perhaps. There's an illusion. They're thinking about their choices. They're getting readings, trying to figure out where to go. How do they keep away? How can they hide themselves? But it also says give up. So get away, keep away, give up affairs. So these are third-party enemies running away. They're running away. Because you are reconciled and you have memory of the communications records of the crown. You're getting your messaging back. So your crown is no longer wrapped, cursed, hexed, and worn by another. So you're getting your messaging from your crown, and you should soon have an encounter here. We do have the shadow. The shadow and the apple. So there's death. The shadow, death. It could be that the apple that has been in the shadow has a sixth sense of how these ones have been getting their money. You're getting your wish. This is going to cool down. It's going to stop. This being independent and home alone. We got the rose. Somebody might be looking or doing investigations on the rose. And we've got divine timing here. Divine timing, the snake, empty room. Like they can't come in and bother you in this space anymore, like as an unseen observer or anything, because your protector is pledged and devoted to keeping your space silent. None of these nasty jacks can come in and watch you as you bathe or shower or wipe your bum, you know? I mean, these guys were getting off on that kind of stuff. So the law is here. The law is here. You're ascending because you're a powerful light and a powerful shadow. You're a freaking empress. They had you trapped. You're an empress, temperance angel. You are the planetary stabilizer. And this is crazy that they wanted you trapped in shadow and they didn't want you bringing the stabilization, temperance energy that you are here to deliver to the planet. It's so freaking stupid that these masculines feel they have to deal with the Marys for a while when the Marys are the ones who are bringing a serious stabilizing presence to the planet. These guys want to get rid of their stabilizers. They don't want stabilization on the planet. They enjoy chaos. It's much easier to harvest energy that way and sacrifice souls. You have discovered the hidden truth behind all of these illusions and these sweet little scripts, these perfect little words of, piety. It's all performed exactly. They speak the same always, and it's just a little false show. It's not even genuine. It's not even authentic or transparent the way that they speak. It's just not. It's rehearsed, freaking regurgitated crap that keeps people hooked. So you've discovered the hidden things that they had hidden here, and you're getting a new beginning. You're going to rest now. You've discovered it, the hidden truth, and you've got photographic evidence or memories of the performance of this clown and the camouflage that they were covering themselves in, trying to hide it. Now they're drinking. They're drinking their life away. Because the roses are getting a miracle. They're being exonerated because they were forced into this. It was very brutal and an insult to their soul. So, cruelty is not responsibility. Cruelty is not power. Cruelty is not temperance. It's not balance. It's not purpose. But you have it. You have it. You're turning your back on all of that because it's been illuminated. The truth is you have talent. Now, somebody mentioned the other day that she had been tested and that she had generated flowers from nothing, and you had created, or somebody had created, flowers, real flowers with roots and everything. So you're a valuable, planetary stabilizer. You can bring forth beauty and health and wealth, life itself. And these people want the Marys trapped because they don't want people to know that it's the Marys that are planting all the seeds. It's the Marys that are bringing forth everything that people need to be nurtured with. They don't want that to be seen. And that's why everybody's suffering right now, because they're too busy spending money, shagging each other to give people enough so that they can be stable and focus on their connection with the Most High God. They want a puppet that's destabilized and spilling energy and grief and sorrow and self-loathing. It's terrible. Well, they themselves, they act like they're doing such a great deed, but when you look at the shape of the world, it's like, I'm sorry, there's nothing mighty about the presence of these ones who are having to put up with the Marys. So that's what it is. The temperance angel was having relations and finding out that the masculine or feminine, take it as it resonates, didn't want any strings. These were the animal friends. They could be the genetic experiments of these people from the 1930s. And now we've got divine intervention, serendipity, and a catalyst. It's like because these devils are all in their feelings here because they can no longer have forbidden love and bind you and torment you. They're upset. They want to force it. They want to spill blood for real, man. It's crazy because the magic and all this trapping, it's not working, and they're so angry. So they really want to do some serious destruction now to force a temple, a flesh temple, to leave the realm and not actually come into its leadership position and authority. Flexibility in the reverse. So you've got your chariot here. You're moving on. You're turning your back on whatever was going on here because you have been illuminated to the truth. You've had your awakening. You have been initiated. You've graduated out of an impossible life path, and you've surpassed at least 2 of these ones' records. They're very, very upset that a woman stomped on them and kicked their ass in every instance that they tried to come against her. She's just better. She's higher than the 33 degrees. She is. There was like several months ago, something about 47. And I don't know anything about this stuff. And they may insist that it doesn't exist. But Spirit says otherwise. So these mothers, these temperance angels, Marys, these daughters of Eden are upper dimensional sopranos. And these people have been sacrificing them and turning them into street exhibits, calling them prostitutes and getting them hooked on drugs and then convicting them of being that. It's crazy. So you've got talent. You can water bend, or you can control the frequencies of your water. You're an alchemist. And we've got flexibility in the reverse. I doubted our ability to adapt and grow together, causing unnecessary pain. But now I see that our bond is more flexible and resilient than I can imagine. So flexibility. Somebody was not flexible with you. They broke you. And it could be now you're not being flexible with any of them for what they have done to you. They tried to destroy you. They tried to genetically modify you, give you a twist and turn you into a prostitute. You're a royalty, and they wanted you to be seen as the exact opposite. And they worked very, very hard with their magic and their illusions and their brutality to do it. Apparently, they split the 3D temple, flesh temple, from the spirit so that they can more easily manipulate the flesh temple and then manipulate the spirit, because they keep you in a state of perpetual innocence so that they can constantly sacrifice you over there. Stab, 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 stab. They always do it over and over again. And then leave you here in the 3D as a peasant, and then take everything from you in the spirit and claim that it was theirs all along. And it never was. And it was never a proper contract. It was always theft and brutality. They come in, they have an intimate encounter, they tap that energy, and then they start manipulating in it, dressing up in it, presenting themselves as it. And they use these words of love, but it's just reckless sex. And then they disappear. Once they tap into the value of your soul, they just disappear because now they got the connection and they can do whatever they want. They've gained everything they needed with that reckless sex encounter or whatever. And if they ever said love or whatever, it was only they were loving what they were gonna be pilfering from the value of your soul. It's crazy. Those roses, they don't remember the value of themselves. It's difficult to remember your value when you're treated so poorly by these men who are supposed to be fathers, protectors, friends, you know, brothers, lovers. So you're protected, and they're drinking to cope. They miss you. But you're not being flexible with them. There's absolutely no flexibility. We've been through this at least 4,500 years. They were saying in the days of Noah, it was this woman and her husband agreed to collaborate with them, and they let them free. They agreed to collaborate and set them free. Those people that were set free from the Egyptians, it wasn't Noah. It was this woman and her husband, and then they were trapped, sacrificed, while the devil with the horns, they say that Noah came back with horns. Yeah. They're free. God has released them from the deepest, darkest trap that they could find for them. And we've got an unexpected event now. They were not expecting that. You were in a deep, deep hole, and you had been there for thousands of years, and they were laughing, at least in my face, from an invisible space, because it was easy peasy, you know? But God, we got an unexpected event. Yep. Relentless opposition. You did not give up, and neither did God. God heard you, and these animal friends of yours that have been sexing you up to gain the value of your soul and then to walk around as though they had that in them. Yeah, now they're missing you. They're getting drunk because that's all they are. They're like these low vibrational, reckless endeavors, you know? The core of the problem. They were casting the illusion that the temperance angel, empress, and high priestess, and all them, that they were nothing more than prostitutes, and that they couldn't get a man, they couldn't hold down a marriage, they're not mother material, all this stuff, you know, to try to paint them that way so that God would reject them. And I don't know, you know, at the end of this 30 years, they didn't want God to say, those are my temperance angels and we're going to reseed the population with them. No, these guys wanted their genetic experiments to be seen as more valuable, and they wanted to then have the next cycle for themselves. But the truth is seen. The madness was never the madness was never the temperance angel. It was the temperance angel that had insanity ran through them, because they're the ones who could transmute it. You know how difficult it is to maintain your life while you got these pests running insanity through your mind? It's so bad. Independence. And this is the other thing. They left you alone. Oh, wow. Thank you, Donna. I appreciate that so very much. So you've got a mighty shield. They cannot penetrate it. They're drinking to cope. They miss you. They miss being covered by your energy, being able to tap into your spiritual bank account, being able to draw from you anything that they ever wanted, and then dress up in it and prance around town like they're so freaking pretty and stuff. Yeah, you're independent. You realize you don't need them. You never did. Thousands of years they've been putting you in these cycles, and they're saying she's in her masculine energy. Well, of course she is. She's had to be both male and female in her life because she hasn't had anybody to call on for support while she was living with next to nothing and a whole bunch of instability, because these ones kept doing car magic accidents, you know, get evicted out of your apartment, freaking accidents, or, you know, sell the building, you got to go move, or whatever, you know, all kinds of nasty crap that they were constantly throwing. So you've learned how to put on your damn hard hat and get it done. You found out very quickly that you don't have any need for these entities that were making your life so hard. And now they have the audacity to say, we got to put up with the Marys for a while. They never ever support them. And they still don't have any intention of ever lifting those Marys and giving them the status of the life bringer that she deserves. She's very independent. She does not need to bow a knee to these people, these men. They're not religious. They don't love God. They have a religious script. They've tortured people over and over and over again throughout history because they won't recognize them and bow to them with this religious script. They're not the authority when it comes to Creator, for sure. They have to tap the womb of power of a divine mother in order to gain access to that place that brings life and messaging. So you're independent. They left you alone. You're independent. And now they're trying to break through. They're trying to break through your doors. You know, they thought that by leaving you alone, you would just become a little crying pile of mush, you know, incapable of even standing. It could be that you pushed beyond your comfort zone and discovered new capabilities. Because they left you alone, you had to be independent. So you allowed yourself to be open and grow stronger through transparency. While they were draining everything from you and hurting you, you were out there generating the wealth that they were continuously stealing. And now that God has separated them from you and canceled that contract and cut them off, you've got so much more than what you had when they first encountered you and decided to take from you. You built it all on your own while suffering at the hands of those who were supposed to protect you, guide you, guard you, keep you safe. And now they're drinking, trying to cope, because there is finally somebody here guarding you and protecting you, and you have a mighty shield and they can't penetrate it. And they're like, oh no. You know, in the past, they had this empress trapped. And while in this cocoon of darkness, this deep, deep layer of darkness, she transformed and evolved into something new. She is now a butterfly. She has her wings. You know, it's the shoot, what nut is that? Hazelnut? No, not the hazelnut. There's some nuts. You have to put them in the, like, wrap them up in a moist cloth and put them in the, like, crisper bin in the refrigerator. And you got to leave it there all winter or whenever, for like 3 months before it'll root. You have to put it in hibernation mode. It's crazy. So like the Empress, she was in hibernation mode. She was in this deep, deep hole of darkness, and she transformed. She rooted, just like some of these nuts. That when they're in the darkness, they root, they take root. So this Empress was trapped in a dark, dark hole, and she was in a cocoon, and she took root. She germinated and took root. And then she was transformed and reborn and risen. God saw her down there, and he's like, whoa, you know, these ones were sacrificing her again, and Osiris weighed her heart, and I don't know, it's like, there's a heaven in this one. I can't keep her down here. So he let her go. Consumerism. Oh, consumerism. Those who have been consuming on her are going to prison. Those who have been consuming her are going to prison. I heard God say that they prostituted her energy, and that siphoning energy and prostituting energy is the same thing. So there's no way of using words to try to soften the reality of it. So those people who had been feeding on the Empress's energy while she was down in that hellhole, rooting her tree, are being imprisoned because her crown is now in the heavens, and she will be a mother and bring forth life on that tree. It's strong, it's sturdy, it's stable. Those roots are deep, 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 deep. And the crown is high up in the sky, into the heavens. And the core is a magnificent core. And there's all these Marys out there being elevated right now. And you got these masculines smiling in the face of daddy, being very, very loyal, that they're like, we have to put up with the Marys. They have no reverence or honor for she who gave them life. But they'll trap her and pull all of the wealth out of her womb and pretend that it came from them. Cast the illusion over the populace that it's they who had this rainbow covenant with God. Jerks. So they're not able to trap you. So you're getting a new beginning because the uninvited guest, this entity that wanted this animal, this genetic experiment from these mad scientist devils that they were doing on the cats of the lion family. Yeah, they're in trouble, man. And they are not able to trap you. This forgotten person, it's a forgotten person. You're no longer in their trap. They can't trap you. This is from centuries ago, back when they were real serious about trapping people. Now, they got too lazy, too drunk, too diseased, too arrogant to put in the work. And, you know, this Empress wasn't of that same mindset. And neither was her person. So we've got an enterprise, an opportunity. It could be an overseas opportunity. It could be something that is worldwide. The key people. So reseeding the earth. It's like God has chosen the key people that he wants to come together in marriage and reseed the planet with humanity. Not the genetic experiments and mutations of the original humanity, but so he's gathered some original humans that had been trapped a long time. They didn't go through the genetic experiments and the CRISPR things and all this stuff. You know, they've been around a long time. So they're still very much original and powerful. And these are the ones that will be the new mothers and fathers of this next cycle. The devil is all up in their feelings. They can't bind you. The only thing they can do, they've been talking about suicide and cadavers and KID napping and organ harvesting. Oh, they want to put your organs in their bodies so damn bad. These dead men, they want your heart beating in their freaking chest. Commitment. So, alrighty then. So, overseas, this is an enterprise. It's a worldwide thing. We've got marriage is coming together with key people, key powerful people that have passed the test. They are committed to loving, to loyalty, to being faithful, to building, and to being temperance energy in the world. Somebody may ask you a question, like somebody may be popping the question soon, because this says asking the big question and hoping for a positive response. So you may actually get a proposal soon. And somebody's drinking to cope because you're free. They were feeding on you. They're going to be imprisoned. You're no longer in their trap. Whatever this is, it was from a reckless sex encounter. Just a reckless sex encounter. It could have been one of those days when you went to the club, and you had a few too many, and then you went and did whatever. And then that person knew exactly what they did. They tapped into your freaking soul value and then took it and left you as a vacant soul, drinking all the time to bury your depression and stuff. Maybe not you. Remember, this is a general collective read and it won't be for everybody. So please just don't take it personally if it's not your story. That would not be wise. But we got a devil here, and they're all in their feelings because they cannot commit any crime against you anymore. There's these taboo unions. This devil and this temperance angel, this is taboo. They're not supposed to be together. So this right here is taboo. And the devil has been tormenting the angel for a long, long time, and they're no longer able to do that. This devil is all up in their damn feelings. They're like, oh no, what do you mean? So they can't bond or be with an angel energy any longer. Nope. Low vibrations and foulness cannot go and pair with a high vibrational earth angel. They've been siphoning the value of the soul of this high vibrational earth angel and dressing up in it and then pretending that they were that while being this full of malice and vile behaviors, disgusting criminal acts, wearing the energy of a temperance angel, which is nasty because they were wearing the energy of somebody else committing crimes, hoping that God would see the temperance angel as that. Fortunately, he's intelligent. He's not just clever. He's intelligent. So in your feelings, they cannot, that was forbidden love. There's no more forbidden love. They cannot bind you and torment you and leave you there without anything ever again. Nope, this devil will not have that opportunity. You're getting sudden wealth. They're in their feelings. You're getting sudden wealth, a life of luxury. This one that they wanted to take away from you, and the one that they have been taking away from you for centuries, leaving you in lack, cursing generations of family lines, but bloodlines until they disappear, after they siphon all the wealth out of it. Sudden wealth. So they cannot torment you and gain sudden wealth off of your suffering anymore. This card reads, and you can see the money coming out of there. He's like, oh yeah, lots of money. So it says false security lingers in material abundance, masking deeper voids. Constant craving for external validation dims the value of inner worth. So they can no longer bind you, torment you, and get money out of your suffering. This devil. They're all up in their feelings about it. So your love and going round and round and round and these triggers where you're feeling like you're drowning and stuff and this misery, the sun is setting on that business. It's ending. You might be coming back with a lost loved one. Memories. Elder. Oh. Puppet. So puppet. So okay. So your love cup being swirled in the this infinity of around and around, these cycles of triggers and karmic lessons is ending. The sun is going down on that. We got puppet, somebody always with their hand out taking your stuff. is getting bad news. Trump card. They played the Trump card. So your love, somebody's in their feelings, your love, your marriage, your love going round and round in these stupid karmic cycles is ending. It's going to be a memory. Because the Trump card, it's hidden riches and revealing them only to the worthy. Reserved power and using it strategically when needed. Your power lies in patience and you use it wisely to surprise when least expected. We've got Trump card, bad news, puppet. Trapped in a cycle of consumption and never satisfied. Shallow satisfaction from consumerism is short-lived. Monetary chains hold you back from true happiness. There's a rapid escalation of events causing panic and urgency. A sudden crisis disrupts their plans and creates chaos, and the unbearable truth weighs heavily on their heart. So the Trump card has bad news about being trapped in a cycle of consumption. It's ending. Your love going round and around with this bullpucky is ending. The high priestess, you may be getting some sweet talk because somebody has heard you sing your soul song. Promotion channel. So somebody heard you sing, somebody heard you singing. You may be getting like more hits on your channel. Somebody may have decided to promote your channel if you have a YouTube or some other kind of channel. Random thoughts and signs of progress guide your upward journey. Numbers appearing frequently signal your steady progress. So you're moving forward. The high priestess, sweet talk, somebody's listening to your soul song. They're wanting to promote your channel. Maybe they like what it is you have to say. Maybe you're speaking authentically and transparently from the soul. Maybe you occasionally sing. I don't know. Take it as it resonates for you. We've got the Seven of Cups here. So somebody's confused. There's a lot of options. They're getting readings. Run away, giving up, the third party affairs, mistress. So there could be somebody's mistress getting readings. Somebody may have told them to stay away, to keep away. They're malfunctioning. They might have had their car may have broke down. It could be that with this mistress, this third party, they were talking about the Valentine mistress was giving people heart attacks. And then siphoning the Ten of Pentacles wealth out of that man, while the wife and children lose their house and all that good stuff. So anyhow, we got illusion, confusion, getting readings on running away, giving up, the affair, the mistress, the third party. We've got malfunction. Somebody's car may have broken down. They're in a state of illusion, confusion. They were hesitant to address the underlying issues. Fear leads to neglect, and neglect breeds chaos. And worry clouds your ability to act. So they're malfunctioning. The mistresses, these animated corpses or whatever they are, they're starting to malfunction. They're not able to harvest sexual energy, it seems. False flame. False flame. so you can celebrate. So there was a false flame here. They're malfunctioning. So their false flame put you on an emotional roller coaster and hindered your ability to create anything. The intentions were always unclear, making you feel insecure. So there's a false flame, an affair, a third-party enemy. They're running away. They're starting to malfunction. We got Santa and celebration. Now, you know, it could be contract with Santa. Now, Santa could be an acronym for something else. Please use your noggin. And so they're trying to run away now because they have a contract with Santa. And the twin flames are having a happy ending. They're actually getting to come together now. Successful, with interest. Whatever these people took from you, it has to come back with interest. Yeah. So they're evaluating the criteria of these entities. So they feel that there was an unfair assessment, and perhaps there was in the regard of the Marys, because they were always focused on the Marys' shortcomings. So they were like evaluating this criteria, you know, coming up with this crazy, you know, guidebook of what you needed to exhibit in order to be seen as a proper, acceptable mother, you know, which is just stupid and crap, especially coming from people who are claiming to be men of God or the creator of all things. How could you deny, destroy, reject, twist, and feed on something that was destined for a destiny? So you're coming into your destiny. You're getting your person. You're coming, he or she came from across distances to get you, to retrieve you, to make this right. Imagine having to do something like this every 30,000 years, dealing with all these devils and these hybrids and whatever else that happened here. You know, that's so crazy. So you're going to have passionate love and strong desire. Strong, unbreakable bond. The connection transcends space. And what is meant for you is on its way now. Embrace the uncertainty, knowing that serendipity works in your favor. Yeah. Well, somebody is speculating, chasing quick gains and ignoring long-term stability. They married into it, and now they're being manipulated and exploited and caught in tensions. They gambled. They gambled the gift. And now the gift gets a new family. We've got digital detox. Like, they may not be able to tap into your digital identity. It could be that the copycats and all of their devices or their opportunities to catfish people are being destroyed. We've got overloaded and a lifesaver. They need somebody to save them. They're trying to shred everything that they did, wearing a social mask. Maybe they're trying to shred the history of what they did in order to fit in. Maybe they're trying to shred the memory of who they were. You know, there's a woman out there, apparently she already has an suicide note ready, and there's a cadaver that's off the books or whatever. So there could be one of these women who will, in the news, be said to have committed suicide, but it's a setup. She's going to disappear and get herself a new identity. Apparently this could be the woman, and I'm thinking that it is, who hesitated but signed a contract with this curator the other day. Somebody is seeking help because the deadline is here and the walls are closing in because there's a rejection. No. So, I don't use my YouTube channel as a hookup channel. I'm not interested in hooking up. I've already got my spiritual connections, and I'm very, very comfortable in my life with this spiritual connection. So, you know. Let's see. Let's do some of these ones. Ooh, excuse me. All right then. So we got the Chariot here. You're got a victory over the previous cycle, Empress. You were trapped. Now, I say singular, but there's many. These masculines are calling them the Marys. So mothers, the mothers. They're having to deal with the mothers now. The mothers have a right to speak, and they're planning on changing it as soon as they get an opportunity. But for now, they gotta put up with it because God's here. So the Chariot is here. You got a victory over this. You're turning your back on those people. You have a natural born talent to manage the frequencies of your water. You're an alchemist. You're not being flexible with those people who caused you struggle. You're not working with them. You're not offering them anything. They can go struggle like they forced you to struggle. There is no flexibility with that. It's like, you want to steal what the Empress has earned going through this dark night of the soul and having to germinate in darkness and root there before being led back, and thousands of years have gone by. No, these people need to go through it. If they want that reward and they've been stealing it over and over and over again, they got to go through and do the work to actually earn it. And unfortunately, they have spent so much stuff, so many inheritances that were not theirs. They did not earn them. You're the temperance angel. These animals, these genetic experiments, or these people made from the dirt. You're a star seed. You're coming from a star system. These ones are not. These are genetic experiments, intelligent animals, and there is divine intervention with serendipity. This is an unexpected event. They did not see this coming. Urgent news, urgent news. They've got to do something. This woman, they got to get rid of this woman. They got to get her off the planet because, first off, no matter what happens, they do not want her stepping into her role that she has already been given in the spirit, that she has earned. They don't want her to experience this in the 3D, and they certainly don't want to sit back and take commands from the mother. The mother wants them to stop RAPing the babies and the virgins and selling them into these slavery things, and these men are so mad that the mothers actually have a voice. They are right. The mothers are right. And these men, they're so mad that they have to actually agree to it because they don't feel it's true, but they have to agree to it. Crumbling. This is an unexpected event. Everything that they built on the no strings attached energy harvesting off of temperance angels is crumbling. They did not expect this to happen. It's all falling apart. They can't keep it. It belongs to you. It was earned and built off of your energetic signature. It belongs to you. So you're protected. You've got a mighty shield. They're drinking to cope. They miss the energy, the presence of you. But you are fiercely independent. You have learned how to get along very well without them and be happy too. You're very happy, stable, and successful. You can manage yourself quite well, regardless of whatever these pompous little hypocrites want to say about you. You pushed beyond your comfort zone. and you allowed yourself to remain open and grow stronger. And these ones were sucking the life out of you, pretending that they were strong, but actually being very weak. You have not lost. You did not lose. They did. They don't have the drive. They don't have the passion, the fire, the freaking inner fortitude to get it done. And you know one thing? I was so upset about this last night. I'm like, these guys were being so foul regarding the mother with their words and their energy. And I thought, you guys, you know, she gave you life. She broke her freaking body and spent 2 to 3 days in massive pain, pushing you out of her body. And then they want to trap her, torture her, pull off her, and commit her into a life of suffering while verbally abusing her and calling her nothing more than a prostitute. I think that these men should be the ones to birth the babies. I think they should be forced to break their bodies and to tear themselves apart while bringing forth the life that they have RAP'd and sold into slavery and did all that too. They have no care for it whatsoever. They just want the money and the value of it. So I was thinking last night, well, this sounds like a very good solution to me so that these guys can learn the lesson of how to respect what the mother goes through in order to produce and bring forth life in this world. Because right now they don't think she's anything except an inconvenience that they have to put up with for a while. So the Empress was in a trap, and while she was there, she was in a chrysalis, and she transformed into this butterfly. She's got her wings, and everybody was freaking consuming her, pulling off of her energy, siphoning it, prostituting it, being cruel, vicious, self-entitled little reckless sex bullshit artists pretending to be men. They're reaching out for love. They want to connect to love, and they are foul. They should never have access to the love of an Empress High Priestess again. Never should they ever have access to her or her energy or anything that she produces with it, because they're thieves and they're cruel and they're bitter and they're jealous and they're sick with malice, that they have to actually be patient and put up with the Mary for a while. You got a new beginning, Empress, from these people, these reckless sex people, these forgotten people. They weren't able to trap you. This uninvited guest is having some kind of a surprise. They might have an accident. Their cup is empty. They were not able to trap you. Whoever this was, you had a reckless sex encounter from a forgotten person of the past, and it may not be in this lifetime. It could be many lifetimes ago, but you're not in their trap any longer. They can't keep you. Their cup is now empty. You are going on to an enterprise. It could be that you're spiritually wed to somebody that is overseas. The key, we got the key people. So it looks to me like God has picked the key people to make a commitment to marry in this new chapter, to reseed the planet with humanity. We've got drowning. Somebody's going under. They're barely able to keep things afloat. The devil is all in their feelings because they can no longer participate in the forbidden love of a devil and an angel. They're no longer able to bind you and torture you for sudden wealth. We got adrift. In the reverse, they weren't willing to commit and put down roots. They wanted to sacrifice, torture people, and then get, a quick cash load from the merchant on your suffering. The more you suffered, the more money they got. They really dug it, man. Real great. So your Ace of Cups, your this proposal and marriage and your desire to have a family and love, but you kept getting hijacked by these freaking devils who then trapped you and freaking fed on you while slandering you and dressing people up in your energy in your face and then casting the illusion that you're a terrorist. So your love being caught in this round and round whirlpool of a cycle of triggers and karmic lessons, the sun is setting on that. We've got somebody played the Trump card. Or maybe, yeah, so there's a Trump card. They're getting the bad news that you have hidden riches. They're only being revealed to the worthy. You've reserved your power and are using it strategically. Your power lies in patience. And that's bad news for this person, this person who is trying to puppet you. They're having panic and they're feeling trapped in the dark side because the sun is setting down on your love being trapped in this karmic cycle. High Priestess, we've got Sweet Talk. You've been singing your soul song and somebody wants to promote your channel. They might like what you have to say. It could be a secret. Somebody may be secretly promoting your channel. We've got the Seven of Cups here. So there's illusion and confusion. Somebody's getting readings. This mistress, this third party enemy, they're trying to run away, but they're having a malfunction in their car. Their car may have broke down. Crushed. They're hurting emotionally. Many flames. They want forgiveness from many flames. They've been siphoning many flames and they're tired, exhausted, and deserve a break from being fed upon by the devil. They're having anxiety because they can't free themselves from this sticky situation. They made life very, very hard for the royalty, the royal daughters of Eden, of this lion, and the sons. I know sometimes I get all in the feminine stuff, but you know, it's story time. It's a story. Please don't be offended. Be entertained. So anyway, they made life very, very hard for the diamonds of the family of this lion. He's being very, very fierce and he is being aggressive. This childish person who is tempted by the snake is looking for an exit plan. They think that if they write an suicide note and present a cadaver and then make it look real, that they can just, you know, mosey on down the road and get a new identity and never be noticed as the one who did all this nasty stuff. Neglecting those people that they were having intimate encounters with, pulling off of their energy, doing black magic or forbidden magic with their energy, screwing up their spiritual lives, their spiritual inheritances, and their reputations. Leaving them alone, guilty of leaving them alone in a rabbit hole of crazy freaking drama. They did it on purpose. It was premeditated. That's how they get the wealth. These masculines, they tap into the Marys and their power of their womb. These earth angel empresses. And they're so mad. They've got all this wealth that came from the Marys and the children that came forth from the womb. You know, they got all this wealth while the mother and the child struggle, often without a father in the house, because these people think it's real great to go have a war and have them die off periodically. They arrogantly boast about responsibility, and they don't think that the mother has the savvy to actually be a diplomat or offer diplomacy. And she probably wouldn't to these nasty jacks who have been RAPing the children and sex trafficking the mothers and, selling them off planet into slave colonies. She probably won't want to collaborate with them, and she probably wants them off the planet because they are a serious threat to her family. And why would she want to support them in any way, financially, materially, energetically? No. Because she's all about this. And she wants to make sure that this and that then the people's future families, that the generational wealth can occur for bloodlines. This is what it's all about. People are gossiping. They know the truth now about the shadow side, what they've been doing here. They weren't satisfied and they were all up in their feelings. It's all about the money for them. Sad. It's really sad. So you're in your chariot, or you've got a victory here. You are illuminated. You know the truth. You've discovered the truth. You are awake now, and you're turning your back on these people. You've got a natural born talent of alchemizing the waters of your temple, and you're not being flexible with those people who caused you struggle. It's like absolutely not. You're not going to let them back in so that they can do this anymore. You see very clearly what they've been doing, and it's like, oh no. They got to go away. They can't have intimate encounters and tap into the value of a high priestess, empress's, temperance energy, son or daughter of the divine. Absolutely not. You can't tap into that energy anymore. This is family. This is family. This lion, this high priestess is right here, and the empress, and they're like, whoa. And I think that this is what happened last time. But these nasty jacks did magic over the mental bodies of people, and they framed her, and they had convinced everybody that she was a money grubber, like they are. Like she wanted all the money, and that isn't the case. Now, with her, she had the money, but she was making sure that every family member or unit had what they needed: a home, a foundation, transportation, enough food, enough wealth to get by so that they can sing their soul song and create their divine messages into the world. It's all about that management and responsibility for that. These guys just wanted to take it all from her and then just go build freaking big ballrooms and have gold toilets and hammers and, have big parties and wear fancy threads, televising it and showing the whole world how much better off they are because they're so much more intelligent. And it's like not that at all. They were draining the wealth out of the Marys, and now they're upset that they have to put up with them for a while this settles. So they think that as soon as this settles, they're going to be able to put the Marys back in a box. They've been found unworthy. So you're not being flexible with these people. You're not going to serve them. You're not going to help them. You don't care about them. You just want them gone. They've been feeding. They almost exterminated the whole entire human race with their genetic experiment lookalikes. Temperance energy, no strings attached. With these animal friends, divine intervention. This is an unexpected event for them. What they built on your energy is crumbling. You've escaped. You have escaped. They're challenged by this, and you're not being flexible with them. It's like absolutely not. And neither is God. God is saying every single thing that you did to the mothers is being done to you. They prostituted the energy. Even if they didn't actually prostitute the body, the energy was being pilfered and siphoned as they slept in their house. As they slept, they'd come in the midnight hour, midnight muncher gremlins, and they'd siphon the energy from people as they slept. So you're protected now. You persevered. You're maintaining control. They're drinking to try to cope with losing you. They miss you, but you are fiercely independent and you have broken through. You're stronger through transparency, authenticity and transparency. There's no reason to even think about trying to put on a show, and there's no reason to even thinking about trying to hide anything from God or pull one over on God, because he can read your damn mind and look right into your history. Trying to pull one over or carve something out of your life to hide something is just ridiculous. From the one who sees all, he knows that you're nothing but a liar if you're trying to hide that. Sneaky little rat liar. And why would I want to ever be that? No. I'm going to show the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful of the upper, under, and internal, north, south, east, west of my life. And I have to visit all of those spaces and places frequently in order to keep myself in status of homeostasis. And I'm sure that all of you do. You alchemists. Anyway, you got really, really strong, and you pushed beyond your comfort zone and discovered new capabilities, and you did not lose this round. Charge, you said. You busting through. This is not a game. This is your life, and you're fully intent on living it. And you want to live the life that God has for you, not some freaking jackwagon out here, all up in their feelings. This devil, all up in their feelings, thinking themselves superior because your emotions of love they felt make you weak. They feel that the humanity's sense of emotion makes them weak. All they had to do is come up, love bomb you, gaslight you, have an intimate affair, and then do all their energetic manipulations and magic. We have unfinished business. You did not lose. There's unfinished business here. The Empress was in a trap in the recent past. She went through a transformation. She has her wings. Those who were consuming her, feeding on her energy, they are going to be imprisoned. They're reaching out for love, trying to connect, but love is eluding them. Soul contract. They're trying to reach for you. They want a soul contract. Love is eluding them. Love may be already in a soul contract. So they're trying to connect, but love is eluding them because love is already here. Key people are already married. They're already in spiritual unions and committed to each other. So you're getting a new beginning. And those who were using proper words of love and exhibiting acts of reckless sex, there could be a forgotten person from many lifetimes ago whose trap you are no longer in. This is an uninvited guest, could be having an accident, or there's a big change happening here. They got to make a decision. Their cup is empty. They could not trap you this time. You've won because you're independent and free, and you were pushing yourself into it to do it. They say you're in masculine energy. You're in the energy of you're gonna get it freaking done, whether it hurts or not. These people are guilty, or this one is, you're getting a new beginning because this uninvited guest, their cup is empty. They're having an accident. They're surprised. Oh my gosh. So this is an enterprise. You may be being transported or transferred overseas. There's this beam me up Scotty thing. I don't know how this transfer or this transport is going to occur, and I don't know if it's just like a timeline shift or if it's an actual like particle event. I don't know. Please take it as it resonates. So yeah, we've got an overseas opportunity. This is an expansion, an enterprise. It's worldwide. We've got marriages between key people. The power couples have come together. They are deeply committed to each other, hoping for a positive response from this union. We got some people here that are drowning and losing control. They're in disagreement, thinking that you ought to understand how they feel, you know? I mean, they've been feeding on you for centuries, and yet somehow you're supposed to feel sorry for them, you know? The devil is in their feelings. Again, they're in their feelings because, you know, and they think that you need to figure out what's going on with them. They can no longer have this forbidden love. The devil can no longer have a soul contract with the temperance angel. It's just not going to happen anymore. They can no longer bind or torment the temperance angel again. There is sudden wealth coming for the temperance angel because you're not a weed seed. You're the real deal. You're the real deal. You've always been looking to put down roots with a partner, but they never wanted to, you know, for whatever reason. Apparently this was happening the whole time, you know. So you went and you put down your damn roots yourself. And you got it done. And now these masculines who've been reading script, dressing up in fine linens, and wearing the personality of importance, are worried. They're not worried. They're agitated that they have to put up with the Marys for a while. Not forever. They don't plan on giving her a steady place to be in this new cycle. Their intention is to put up with her for a while and then make her go away. Freaking ego. They want this person. They want this egoic, this high bred, whatever, to be there. They're full of pride. Your love going round and round in these cycles, these karmic cycles, is setting the sun on that. Night falls on that. We've got a puppet is receiving bad news. So you played the trump card. Somebody is trapped in a cycle of consumption, never satisfied. Shallow satisfaction from consumerism. Monetary chains holding them back from true happiness. The puppet gets bad news. A rapid escalation of events causing panic and urgency. A sudden crisis. And an unbearable truth. They were using the empresses and the high priestesses' energy and intellectual material to present themselves as godly men. Now they're stuck in the dark side. They're trapped in the dark side. They're upset about this. They want to mend the connection. Absolutely not. Thousands of years have gone by. They thought for sure that you would never, ever, ever be able to fix your connection. They could be trapped in the dark side because you fixed your connection, because Most High God sees you and sees you as a key person. This woman, this Empress High Priestess, is independent. She's got her hard hat on. She's fixing her own damn stuff. She's breaking through all barriers. She is surpassing people's record settings. Their best try. So the High Priestess here, somebody's trying to sweet talk the High Priestess. She can sing her soul song. They want to promote her channel. Somebody may be sweet talking her on her channel. Maybe the sweet talk, maybe people like her song, maybe they like what she's saying, maybe that change in perception might be bringing more wealth to the channel. Somebody has a secret. They made mistakes. They wish they could right their wrongs. It could be that somebody who was stifling and trying to bury the Empress High Priestess and trap her are now promoting the channel. Maybe they've had a different point of view or something. I don't know. We got the seven of Cups here, somebody's getting readings on you. This third party enemy, they're running. They don't know what to do. Their car is breaking down. They're crushed because you still love yourself. They couldn't take the love out of you. They're in regret for telling these lies about you, Empress, who never gave up hope for this divine union. You're getting it. They could not separate you. They sabotaged their own self by being dissatisfied with what God gave them. Now they're longing for you, feeling like a part of them is missing without you. But they were only getting married for money. It was all about money. It was never about love, and it was never about loyalty, commitment, children, strong family trees, generational wealth, or any of that. People are gossiping about the truth has been revealed, and they're being detached. And they could be put in isolation, or it could just very well be that they got to stay out of your space. Somebody wants to talk to you. They want forgiveness. They're confused about these secrets that they kept, all these secrets. Maybe some secrets are coming out, and it's too late for them to take any action. They're running away. They're running away. The runner doesn't want to run anymore. They ran away. They neglected their soul tie. Probably more than one over these many thousands of years. And now they're reminiscing about the fun they had hurting you and how they did not appreciate you at all. You're getting a reunion with your person, your kingdom spouse. You are back together. Whatever this was that tore you apart, this lie, this frame up, this facade, this illusion, this magic trick. You have an understanding of what these low vibrational reflections and copycats were doing with wearing your face, siphoning your energy, acting as you. And now they don't know what to do, because they have to take care of their responsibilities on the shadow side, their family in the shadow side. I don't know. But they couldn't, you're irreplaceable. You're irreplaceable. So they're in the dark, but they've lost you. They were trying to trap you in the dark. Families, they were trying to trap loving families in the dark, and they can't replace you because the way you love can never be matched. And now this chaser doesn't want to chase anymore. They're feeling broken and shattered because everything that they did to hurt people with sex and sexual encounters is being reciprocated to them. They treated everybody like a prostitute, and they shall be treated like that, and everything shall be drained out of them. They won't be left with anything. All their energy will be prostituted. It will be taken right off of them, just like they did it to others. This was a habitual pattern that they would never change. They were trying to steal your destiny. And you're getting a new chapter, and they have missed their opportunity for a new chapter. This is an unexpected outcome. These rootless and flowerless beings, these third-party enemies, they didn't plant any roots. They don't grow any fruit. They got to go away. They got to get out, because all they do is tear up families and destroy those roots. So now they're hurting from the damages that they caused, and they're stressed out. They don't get to be with you. No more contracts, no more siphoning off of you, and no more keeping you apart from your person. Absolutely not. This is done. God said this is done. And you know what the amazing thing is he's so calm. I would swear he's just having a casual conversation, but it's deadly serious. I mean, that person, this divine masculine, whether it be God or, I mean, I think it's this lion. And he's so temperance. It sounds like a regular conversation. Well, this happened and that happened, so now this is what I'm going to do to you. And it's so like a casual conversation, but there are such severe repercussions happening right now. It's so strange to listen to the conversation and know the depth and the intensity of what is happening here. It's wild. Well, I do think that perhaps we have enough information here on this particular read to get a good idea of what Spirit's trying to tell us or what the divine wants us to know. So I do hope that this brings clarity to what you already intuitively knew. And I wish you a blessed evening and a blessed weekend. Um, um, Yeah, I would just say, I'd recommend just kind of be aware of your environment because we got some folks out there that are, they're wanting to re-trap the Marys that God has released, so they got to put up with the Marys for a while, but their intention is to re-bind them. So be careful with who you're trusting because not everybody who speaks in a godly way has God in their heart. So always be on the lookout for manipulation, especially if they're trying to twist your mind and make you believe that God isn't listening to you and your personal messages as though you hold value. See you on the next one, everybody. Take care.